here. A look at your travel forecast across the nation and right here in the 4 states.
Quite a few people on the roadways already ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. We'll break down the forecast this week and tell you about some rain chances on Thanksgiving coming up.
And the uprising in Iran turns to protest at the World Cup in Qatar.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
It is nearly Thanksgiving and many people are already on the move. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, AAA expects nearly 55 million people will travel for the holiday. That's the 3rd highest number it has ever recorded. At the Joplin Regional Airport, arriving and departing flights are mostly full, and manager Bart Starkey says they will continue to be for Thanksgiving as well. Travelers we talked to say plane ticket prices are higher now than during COVID, but it isn't stopping them from flying to their families and friends. Starkey expects people flying in to come home and see their families for the holiday, but he says they're seeing staffing challenges because of large airline pilot shortages.
So the regional airlines like SkyWest are struggling to try to keep flights scheduled. So as long as we can get flights scheduled, we can put passengers on the planes.
Well, according to AAA, 4.5 million people are expected to travel by plane this Thanksgiving. Another 49 million will travel by car. Chris Van Cleve is at Reagan National Airport with what's going to be a busy week of holiday travel for him personally.
AAA expects nearly 55 million Americans to be traveling for this Thanksgiving holiday. Most will do it on the roads, but an 8% increase is expected at U.S. airports. In fact, airports may be nearly as busy as they were in 2019. That was the 2nd busiest Thanksgiving travel period on record. One trend we have seen throughout the year is that holiday travel periods seem to start earlier and last longer as people have more flexibility around work so they can travel at different times. That has led some airports, including Los Angeles International, to tell us that they expected Sunday to be one of their 2 busiest Thanksgiving travel days. And officials are encouraging people to give themselves extra time because even though all hands will be working at the security lines and the ticket counters, they expect airports will be very busy and flights will be packed.
We are prepared for this influx in passengers. Our partners at TSA are opening all of their security lanes to make sure that folks get through in a timely manner. But again, the best thing that passengers can do is to get here early and make sure they have plenty of time to navigate the airport.
Drivers can expect traffic to ramp up as the week goes on. AAA believes Wednesday will be the busiest driving day ahead of the holiday. And of course, the Sunday after Thanksgiving is traditionally one of the busiest travel days of the year, not only on the roads, but also at U.S. airports. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Reagan National Airport, Virginia.
Speaking of traveling, the weather is great for traveling today, but will it stay that way as we inch closer to Thanksgiving? Chris Warner joins us with a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, I mean, for the next few days, the weather is going to cooperate. So if you're a last-minute traveler or maybe you just like to fight traffic, you're going to be able to do so under pretty decent skies. 36 in range line, you can see a few more cars there. 7th in range line, a few more cars there. Now bear in mind it's also the lunch hour, so this isn't just specifically holiday traffic, I'm sure. Our normal high is supposed to be 56 and our normal low 35, and we are now getting a lot closer to normal temperatures across the area. You have 53 in Chinook, 54 Parsons, a little cooler in Neota Shape, 49, 50 Lamar, 52 in Carthage, and sitting at 54 now in Joplin, so a little bit warmer and not bad, by the way. We're looking at lower 50s for our afternoon highs. Some of us even now getting into the mid 50s because we just got abundant sunshine across the area, and that's the way it is going to remain for today and heading into tomorrow. But there are some changes building in the forecast. We're going to talk about all of those changes and what you can expect in terms of rain possibilities here in just a few more minutes.
All right, something to look forward to, I guess. We always need the rain, though, and if
we do need the rain for sure.
As long as it's not freezing, then I'm fine with it.
I think you're going to like this forecast then.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, law enforcement officials say they are still investigating the motive behind this weekend's deadly shooting at an LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs, and whether it was a hate crime. A gunman opened fire inside Club Q Saturday night, killing 5 people and injuring 25 others before he was subdued by patrons. The rampage happened on the eve of Transgender Day of Remembrance, which honors lives lost to violence. Colorado Springs Police Chief Adrian Vasquez called the incident tragic and said Club Q is a safe haven for this particular population. He feels the need to reach out and make sure they understand the police department stands behind them. Well, police in Idaho still do not have a suspect in the murders of 4 students at the University of Idaho, stabbed to death in their own home. They have cleared some people of wrongdoing, including someone who drove 2 of the victims home and the person who called 911. Well, NASA's Orion capsule reached the moon, grabbed onto its gravitational pull, and did a slingshot around it. It's the first time a capsule has visited the moon since NASA's Apollo program 50 years ago. When the unmanned capsule was on the far side of the moon, though, there was a 30-minute communication blackout. Flight controllers did not know if critical engine firing went well until the capsule emerged again on the other side. Orion blasted off last Wednesday from Kennedy Space Center on a 3-week flight. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon. The uprising in Iran spills onto the soccer field at the World Cup in Qatar. We take you there. And later, Howard shows us how to make a 4-layer pecan pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The World Cup quickly turned political today with players and fans from Iran bringing their protests to the field. CBS's Tina Kraus reports.
The uprising in Iran spilled out at the World Cup in Qatar. Iranian soccer stars stood silently as their national anthem played, and many in the crowd booed.
The reaction from Iranian supporters to their own national anthem was telling.
Iranians used the World Cup to bring their anger to the world stage amid a violent government crackdown on protesters back home.
You cannot believe that the regime, they are killing kids, children in the high school, in the street.
Nationwide demonstrations erupted in Iran after a young woman held for not wearing her headscarf correctly died in police custody in September. Since then, human rights activists say security forces have killed more than 400 people and arrested thousands. Fans at Monday's match against England showed support, wearing the 3 demands of the protest: women, life, freedom. At a press conference Sunday, Iran's captain told reporters, "We have to accept the conditions in our country are not right. Our people are not happy. I hope conditions change." Soccer officials want players to focus on the sport, but for some, politics is making its way to the field. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Well, human rights activists in Iran say more than 50 children have been in the crackdown across the country. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Coming upon us, we're sharing a dessert that promises to be a real showstopper. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? But it's not.
But first, we're going to talk about that turkey forecast when the KOAM News at noon returns. Well, with all that sunshine we're seeing, it is turning out to be quite a nice, warm day across the 4 states and a lot closer to where we're supposed to be this time of year. Live look at the MoDOT camera at 36 and Rangeline. You can see quite a few cars out there between the lunch rush and some early holiday travel. Boy, Rangeline is not the place to be. Rangeline can be pretty busy any time of day. And then take a look at 7th and Rangeline. Not nearly as backed up. We got a little more space, though, between traffic lights here, but still a lot of folks getting out on the road. And perfect weather to do it in as well. 53 in Joplin right now. South-southwest wind at 17 miles an hour under, as you can see, very sunny skies. There's not a cloud in sight really across the region. We have 58 Center, 49 in Neodesha, 54 Parsons and Independence, 51 Miami, 50 Neosho, a little cooler Monette at 49, 52 Carthage, so not a bad day whatsoever. And these temperatures are upwards of about 10 to 15 degrees above where we were 24 hours ago. And this morning we were sitting about 20 degrees above where we were just 24 hours ago. And temperatures are going to continue to remain pleasant. Now, as we go through today, we've revised some of this data for you as we're looking now at a high around 55 degrees in the Joplin area. A lot of us getting into the mid-50s today because, again, we just have plentiful sunshine to go around. Now, once we hit about 5 o'clock, as the sun starts to set, temperatures will start to drop back off. And we will have another chilly night ahead of us. We get back down to 34 degrees with clear skies. So, I mean, it's going to be cold. But again, that 34 is right about where we should be for this time of year. If you are flying anywhere today for your holiday, the good news is, since this morning as well, we have not seen any significant weather-related delays at any of these major airports across the country. So far, that's not a bad thing. I want to remind folks, just as a quick friendly reminder, that this particular map is only highlighting weather-related airport delays, not specific flight delays. So you'll still want to make sure your particular flight's not been delayed. But in terms of the weather, nothing out there hampering flight plans for us. Now, as we go through the week, the warming trend will continue. We'll stay warm. We're going to stay at or even slightly above average as we head through the next couple of days. But we're going to get a system that's going to start rolling in here. And by Wednesday, we're going to start to see cloud cover from this system building in. And once we get into Thursday, this is Thanksgiving morning at 3 a.m. You see, we start to look at some scattered showers across the area. Now, good news is we're not looking at it's not going to be cold enough for any kind of wintry precipitation at this point, but we could see some scattered showers. This is 8:30 in the morning, so this is going to be with us through a good chunk of Thanksgiving. And again, these are going to be scattered showers. This is not just going to be a deluge of rain, but we could see some scattered showers as we head through our Thanksgiving and possibly even into Black Friday as well. So it's a couple of things to be aware of, is just the fact we could run into some rain. So let's take a look at the long range. Looking at 55 tomorrow, we're going to be 58 on Wednesday, and that's when we start to see the cloud cover build in. And between the system moving in and the cloud cover, that blanket we're going to get, we only get down to 51 Wednesday night. And then we're going to be cool for Thanksgiving and Black Friday as we kind of just hover around the lower 50s and upper 40s with rain chances on both days. So if you're traveling, visiting friends, doing some shopping, whatever the case may be, make sure that you are aware that there's just that chance that we could see the rain, which could lead to some slick spots on the road. So be careful. All right. Then we get to the weekend, and look at that. Once this system clears out of here, we're looking to return to some sunshine conditions. We're looking at mild weather returning again. And excluding Wednesday night, which is the odd man out, you can see our overnight lows get pretty decent as well. And just, it's kind of crazy to think that these overnight lows that we're going to see are warmer than what our highs were last week.
I'm looking forward to Wednesday night's low going into Thanksgiving because that's going to make it pleasant.
Yeah. Ahead of the system, it's not going to be too bad. And as you see, it's going to be a little bit cooler Thanksgiving and Black Friday. But yeah, it's just these overnight lows are warmer than what our daytime highs were last week. And these are about where we're supposed to be. Again, excluding Wednesday, we're supposed to be in the upper 30s for overnight lows and in the 50s for highs. So it's nice to see average, or at least close to average, on the board again after a couple of cold weeks.
Yeah, give our furnaces a little break.
Yeah, just a little bit of a break.
A couple weeks ago, I was saying we need to give our ACs a break. So
it's the 4 states. Would we have it any other way?
That's right. All right, thanks, Chris. We take this time to honor today's 4th-state hero, Private First Class Leon James in the U.S. Army. The soldier from Girard, Kansas, served from 1938 to 1941. Records show Private James was killed in an accident. To Leon James, we thank you, our 4th-state hero. Need another dessert for your Thanksgiving feast? How about one that's layered with creamy filling and crunchy pecans? Howard shows us how to make a 4-layer pecan pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
When it comes to Thanksgiving, many of us are so focused on the turkey and all the go-alongs that we often forget about what we're serving for dessert. If so, no worries, because today we're sharing a dessert that's sure to be a showstopper. Let me show you how it's made. We start by combining some cream cheese, sugar, vanilla, and an egg. You want to beat it until everything's nice and smooth. Okay, we set this aside. Now, in another bowl, we beat together more eggs with sugar, corn syrup, and a bit of vanilla. We spread the cream cheese mixture in the bottom of an unbaked pie shell. As for the crust, that can be homemade, or you can use a refrigerated or frozen supermarket shortcut. We sprinkle some pecans over this and top it with the vanilla mixture before popping it in the oven. Once it's baked and has time to cool, it's ready to serve. It's the ultimate Thanksgiving dessert that features layer after layer of everything we love about a pecan pie, plus an awesome cheesecake layer. To get the recipe for our 4-layer pecan pie in time for this holiday, just visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a layer after layer after layer after layer way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Oh, that does look good. You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
Up heading into Wednesday, clouds increase, maybe some showers Thursday and Friday, so do prepare for that for any traveling or shopping you may be doing or eating. Good day to stay indoors and eat. And as we head into the weekend and for you to head home, we're looking a little bit better, some sunny skies and milder temperatures.
Sounds good.
All right, what do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, as COVID, flu, and other respiratory viruses increase, so do concerns about the nation's blood supply. And Health Watch, how you can help during the winter months. Plus, since pandemic, more families are now seeking food assistance. We're going to hear from a Joplin-based organization on the rise in food insecurity. And we find out why there seem to be so many armadillos in the 4 states. I remember way back when there were no armadillos.
Oh, I know.
Hope you join us for those stories, a lot more. Of course, it's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dal. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.